All right. With that, let me hand off to our opening keynote speaker who will carry the banner of the open web. Please join me in welcoming Google Vice President of Product Management, Sundar Pichai.
Thanks, Vic. It's great to be here. I'm going to be talking to you today about HTML5, the incredible momentum we have, all the new capabilities that are coming up, how modern browsers are going to support these APIs. We will show you real-world examples. We will invite application developers who are building amazing experiences on top of HTML5. And finally, we'll have a couple of important announcements on the way. So let's get started. First, as Vic mentioned, the web is the most important platform of our generation. And from a user standpoint, people are spending more of their time on the web. Compared to every other information medium out there, the web has more than doubled in terms of the amount of time people spend in the last 5 years. Every other information medium has been the same or has declined. That's how important our web is in users' lives. So how are developers reacting to it? So we started taking a look at how applications have been written since 1990. Most of you are familiar with the popular desktop applications, Microsoft Office, iTunes, Skype, Photoshop. The list goes on and on. These are amazing applications which we all use in our day-to-day lives. The interesting thing, though, is since 2004, we couldn't come up with popular desktop applications that are outside of games and browsers that are being used by millions of users. What happened in 2004? It turned out it is the year in which AJAX and the Web 2.0 revolution happened. People started writing these applications as web applications, applications which you're all very familiar with, Gmail, Google Maps, Facebook, Twitter, etc. The world changed. The web changed from documents to applications, and developers started reaching users by writing web applications instead of desktop applications. So this is a powerful change. It's a very important trend. Given that, we need to make sure web applications can do everything that desktop applications can do. You're all very familiar with this. Historically, desktop applications have had full access to system capabilities. So they could talk to the speaker, microphone, camera. They could access the file system, for example. Web applications have been limited in what they can do. This is what the HTML5 work is all about. We are working very hard as a community to make sure all these capabilities show up in the browser. Let me give a few examples. Most computers today ship with powerful GPUs. How do you make sure web applications can access these graphics capabilities? That's what WebGL and the graphics APIs are all about. Workers. It is about allowing web applications to access the multi-core CPUs present on the computers. There are APIs to access the local file system, local storage, speaker, microphone, camera, and the list goes on. All this matters only if browsers support these APIs. So let's take a look at how we are doing there. About 24 months ago, this effort had just gotten underway. There was pioneering work here by Firefox, Safari, Opera, and Chrome didn't even exist then. So this is about 24 months ago, and the effort had just gotten underway. So let's fast forward to where we were last year during Google I/O. You can see the momentum was there. Set of APIs being implemented in all modern browsers, including Chrome. So the progress was very exciting. So where do we expect to be by the end of this year? As you can see, all the major APIs are going to be present in all modern browsers. So you as developers can bank on these APIs being present in the browsers when users reach your applications. Another important trend is mobile. All of you are carrying a smartphone here today. The interesting thing there is the smartphones are all web connected with capable browsers. This is looking at search traffic, the mobile search traffic that hits Google. And if you look at the proportion that comes from HTML5 capable browsers, it's far outpacing the other browsers as well. So HTML5 is everywhere. So the question is, how do we make use of it? how do we all make use of it to create amazing experiences for users? So I want to show you a few examples. I'm going to start with a demo from Google. I'm going to invite Jeff Chang, who's a product manager on the Chrome team, to give you a demo of Gmail. How Gmail has built two simple yet very powerful features on top of HTML5. So let's get started. So Jeff is loading Gmail. It turns out one of the most popular features in Gmail is sending email. And most people tend to attach files when they do that. If you're using a traditional desktop application like Outlook, it's very intuitive. You just drag and drop a file. That's been hard for web applications to do. But now, using the HTML5 file APIs, he can drag that photo very intuitively and just drop it in Gmail. Simple, but very powerful, what most users do on their day-to-day lives. A second such example is around notifications. It's very common for you to be in a web application which has notifications associated with it. For example, Google Chat is built into Gmail. The question is, how do you receive that notification when you're not on Gmail? But now, using the HTML5 notifications API, Jeff can receive the email from Bob, I guess, even when he's not on Gmail. So two examples, the File API and Notifications API, and Gmail is implementing to deliver powerful features to our users. So at this point, I would like to invite, we want to show you real-world examples, people all over the community building great applications on top of HTML5. So it's great to see these applications. We'll have many more on the way. And these are all built on HTML5 and work great in the browser. One of the interesting things that Clicker.com showed is the use of video. Video is one of the most important forms of communication on the web, just like images are very popular on the web. But as developers, when you use images on the web, you have a plethora of choice and formats, including an open and freely implementable format like PNG. We think video should have the great free and open alternative as well. It's really important for the web to have at least one alternative for video, which is high quality and open. So we've been thinking hard about this problem. In fact, we are very, very committed to this, and we have invested over $120 million in acquiring Onto Technologies to contribute towards this vision. So today, we want to talk about VP8, but before that, let me tell you a little bit about Onto. We got to know this team last year. They're a set of passionate, committed engineers. They're based in Clifton Park, New York. They've been working on the video space since 1992. So when we started taking a look at VP8, we were very impressed with its quality. The VP line of codecs has had over 2 billion installs and has been adopted by products like Flash, Skype, etc. It's really suited for the web. To serve video on the web, you need to deal with a lot of varying conditions. From a bandwidth standpoint, from a client standpoint, there are many, many mobile devices which are connecting to the web as well. VP8 is really good at adapting to these varying conditions. They're very efficient with bandwidth as well. We serve over 2 billion video views per day on YouTube, and so we really care about bandwidth costs. And so VP8 is very efficient with bandwidth. In addition, we believe it's the best-in-class codec for real-time streaming as well. So overall, we are really impressed with VP8. And so today, we would like to announce that we are fully open-sourcing VP8 under a completely royalty-free license. We are working with many people in the community to do this. And so there's a project called WebM, which we are announcing today in conjunction with many partners. And it's an open web media project. It will have VP8 as the video codec, and it'll be packaged with an open source audio codec, Vorbis. You can find more details about this at the project site, but there's a lot of excitement in the community around this. And so to talk more about this, I would like to invite two major browser vendors who are pioneering a lot of the HTML5 work. Thanks, Mike and Hakan. So it's really exciting. One of the core tenets which underlies the web success is that it's based on open standards like HTML, TCP/IP, JavaScript, etc. And it's great to see video get that option as well. So for an effort like this to be successful, we really need the support of the entire industry to make this happen. So I guess I'm on the wrong slide. So we've been reaching out to many, many partners, and we've received overwhelming support. So we're very grateful for that. I want to call out a few people. First of all, we wouldn't be able to do this today without the support of people like the open source efforts like Warbus and Thera. So we are very grateful to what they've done, and we are looking forward to working with them. Secondly, for VP8 and WebM to succeed, it's really important that we have hardware support, especially given how many mobile devices are getting connected to the web and serving videos. So hardware acceleration is very, very important, and we are working with many, many hardware partners and publishers. You can see the names on the list, and we are working very hard to make a highly optimized RTL freely available soon to our hardware partners. So we've talked about HTML5 APIs, how modern browsers are supporting these APIs, and given you examples of real-world applications. We have more examples on the way, but at this point, I would like to invite Kevin Lynch, CTO of Adobe. Adobe has been doing a lot of work to support HTML5, including providing tools which are really important for developers. So we've seen these great web applications and what you can do with HTML5. But I want to talk about a couple of problems which remain on the web. The first is that it is very hard for users to find web applications. In the earlier days, literally you could walk into a retail store and pick software off the shelf. Then we talked about all the popular desktop applications, and it turned out there were sites like download.com where you could go and find these applications. Since 2004, we talked about how web applications are the main way by which developers are writing applications on computers. It turns out it's very hard to find these applications. Think about this example. Let's try to find a great chess game on the web. I've tried to do so. It turns out there are many, many great chess games on the web, but it's very hard to find one which is really good. There's no way for you to get ratings and reviews. You can search for it, but you can't see ratings, you can't see reviews, you don't know how many people are using this game. You can't engage in a discussion with other people who are playing the same game. It turns out it's actually much easier on a mobile phone to go find a chess game, whereas it is very, very hard to do the same on the web. So that's one problem. The second problem is, as developers, when you write these applications, you need users to discover and use these applications. You need reach. You need to know how many users are you going to get for this application. The second thing developers care about is monetization. Today, advertising is the primary form to do this, and it works great in many, many cases. So advertising has been a very important form of monetization on the web. But we want to create other alternatives as well. For example, it should be easy to create and sell a premium application on the web. So these are the two problems we've been thinking hard about. And as part of that, we want to give you an early preview of a product, what we call a Chrome Web Store. So I'm going to introduce Can Liu, who's the product manager on the Chrome team, who's going to walk us through the Chrome Web Store. Again, this is an early preview. We are pulling this off tip of tree Chromium nightly builds, so bear with us. So what you're seeing is the new tab page of Chrome. So it's a very familiar paradigm to most users. These are applications, icons which you've installed right on the new tab page. One caveat, though, these are web applications. You can find them on the web anywhere. But now you can conveniently add it onto your new tab page. So as you can see, there's Clicker. Jim Lanzone talked about Clicker.com. I love that application. I have it installed on my new tab page. Let's go ahead and try one application. Let's try TweetDeck. I'm sure many of you are using TweetDeck right now in this audience. TweetDeck has written a complete HTML5 version of their application as well. And so what you're seeing is fully in the browser. It's really slick. You can drag and drop it. Let's go ahead and add a keyword for Google so that we can start watching the tweets come in. So you can add Google. They use the notifications API to deliver tweets to you right in the browser. They've also used the geolocation API. So you can click on it and see where all the tweets are coming from. So this is all done using HTML5 in the browser. Let's go ahead and send a tweet. And we can send it to the Google I/O channel, live from Google I/O. And so this is an application which I've conveniently installed in the new tab page. So let's go back there. One icon you will see on the bottom right is what we call the Chrome Web Store. So you click on the Web Store icon, and it takes you to a gallery full of applications. And so you can go here, discover applications, find ratings, reviews, find how many users are using these applications, add comments, etc. So Darkroom, you saw the demo earlier. I love that application. It costs $4.99. I can go ahead and buy it. We worked very hard to simplify the process. So once you set it up, it's normally one click to buy an application. So you can buy it and add it straight into the new tab page of Chrome. And you can start using it right away. So let's go back there. It turns out one of the important class of applications on the web is games. And people spend more time in all app stores. Games are the most popular form of applications. So let's try a couple. Plants and Zombies. It is a very popular game on phones. Now you have it in the Chrome Web Store. So you can click on it, and as you can see, it's a full immersive, full-screen experience right in the browser, the way most people want to play games. And this is built on Flash, and applications in the Chrome Web Store can be built on standard web technologies, including Flash, and we will support all of them in the Chrome Web Store. So the goal of this game is to knock zombies out, so we can move on. Let's go to the web store. Another game, which is a different class of game, which I'm excited to show, we call this Lego Star Wars. It is a 3D game. We were wondering what game to show this audience, and we figured as long as it has 3Ds, Legos, and Star Wars, it's going to work well. So we worked with this company called Unity Technologies. They have a game engine which really simplifies the development pipeline for game developers. We are showing it using their plugin, but they have a working demo in their sandbox of porting this game on top of native client, an open source technology which we will have in Chrome. Most game engines are written in native code, and it's going to be very hard to rewrite these in JavaScript. But now you can use something like native client to run them directly in the browser. So the purpose of this game is to go rescue R2-D2 and kill all the bad droids out there. But as you can see, it's a full 3D game. It is very rich, and it leverages a lot of HTML5 APIs. And Unity is working to port all their games on top of native client to get it working in Chrome. So these are rich, immersive 3D gaming experiences, which will be coming to the browser as well. So let's move on. So if you go back, we talked about games. Another important class of applications is around content, newspapers, magazines. When you read a magazine, it is a really nice experience. So how do you create that same experience on the web? This is an important problem, and we have reached out to magazine publishers to help create these experiences. To show what you can do in terms of producing content on the web, I would like to invite Terry McDonald, who is the editor of Sports Illustrated. Talking to Terry, it's been very obvious his passion for the quality of what they want to see, and they would not do it on the web unless they can create an immersive experience like that. So it's really possible to do this in the browser using HTML5, and we really hope you and everyone watching this will showcase applications like what we just saw. So what does it mean to build on the Chrome Web Store? It means that you can reach over 70 million users. These are primary users of Chrome as of today. And in June of last year, when we talked about Chrome OS, we said we had 30 million users. As of today, we are over 70 million users, and the number is growing fast. So these people will be able to have the web store right on their new tab page and discover, add both free and paid applications. So it's also important to remember that this web store will also be there in Chrome OS as well. So the Chrome Web Store will work on Chrome on Windows, Mac, Linux, and Chrome OS. It'll support both free and paid applications. It will work in over 40 languages and over 70 countries. We will be bringing this in the Chrome Dev channel soon, and we'll have a whole session at I/O to talk more about this. One thing I want to add is we support standard web technologies, and so applications written for Chrome Web Store will also continue to work on every other modern browser out there. So it's been really exciting to talk about HTML5. We've always believed that the future of web is HTML5. And over the course of the last few months, it's been very exciting to see every major browser vendor share that opinion as well. So with that, I'm going to invite Lars Rasmussen, who spoke to you last year about Google Wave, an amazing example of what's possible in the browser, to give a future update on HTML5.